I'm going to do something a little bit ridiculous. Are we ready for that? For a little ridiculous? I know enough prayers and sad things. So when I'm not doing this, I am elsewhere working in theater. I write for theater and I act, and I'm part of a theater company called the Civilians, investigative theater company. And the Civilians thing is that they make their shows out of interview text, interviews that they do with a lot of people on different topics. And I had the amazing good fortune once to get the transcript of an interview with a woman named Laura about the worst wedding she had ever been to. And someone said, can you make a song out of this? And I was like, can it be 11 minutes long? And they said no, so it's not, don't worry. But it is my Alice's restaurant. It was a stroke of amazing fortune. I tell you this because this did not happen to me, but I'm going to tell you the story exactly as it was told to me, but I put it to music. So curtain going down, curtain coming up. I'm a different person. Who says this? So in the part of Northern California where I live back in the 70s, there was this bunch of hippies who decided to do a kind of back to the land movement. And they took all their families and all their stuff and all these things, and they moved them out to the middle of nowhere to this place that they just referred to as the land. Like, of course they call it that. And still going. And a couple of years ago, a friend of mine went out there, and she was spending some time on the land, and she met a guy, and they decided to get married. Did I ever go back? No, I never went back. I was like, yeah, that's enough for me. Did I ever go back? No, I never went back. Oh, I never went back to the land. But when I first got the wedding invitation, I was like, yeah, I'll go to this. That sounds great. A weekend in the country. But we started getting these emails, and it became apparent really soon that we were all going to have to do a bunch of shit. Could you bring this pot or pan? Could you bring a sleeping bag? And you also need a sleeping pad and all these things to put yourself up. Also, you need stuff to eat. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner for however many days you're on the land. And then we started getting more emails, and it became apparent that not only were we feeding ourselves for the weekend, we were catering the wedding. Could you bring 10 pounds of chicken? Could you bring 4 dozen eggs? Can you basically go out and spend like $500 at the grocery store and fill up your car and just bring it on up to the land? So we decided to rent a minivan. Myself and the 2 friends that I went with, Jake and Kathy, and we drive and we drive and we drive and we drive. And we drive 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 out to the middle of nowhere to the place that they refer to as the land. And right away, like out of central casting, there's this totally controlling, uptight hippie woman in charge of the kitchen. And it's, no, you can't put that there. You can't put that there. You need to put this here. These are the vegan cutting boards. These are the vegan knives. It's actually very complicated. It takes forever to learn. It's like you're stepping into some kind of complicated psych experiment, and it's a setup to fail. And that's when Jake is like, well, see you later, ladies. I'm going to go hang out with the guys. And that's because hippie rule number 1 has started to kick in, which is, well, the women folk are going to gather in the kitchen. And the guys, they're going to do their thing outside. And Kathy and I are like, this is bullshit. And we spent the whole day in the kitchen cooking. And that night, I can't find my sleeping bag, and someone took my sleeping pad, and a little girl wet her sleeping bag, and guess whose sleeping bag that was? And maybe someone touched me in the middle of the night. Nope, it turns out that the place is just full of mice. And then at 6:30 a.m., someone comes in with a bell and starts ringing it. Like, get up, we wake up early on the land. And all the women trudge over to the kitchen and spend the whole day cooking again. Kathy was calling it wedding work camp. But eventually, we go outside and there's a tree and we gather in the circle and they start the ceremony. And during the ceremony, during the vows, this guy in the second row starts speaking out, interrupting them. Oh wow, that is so cool. You guys are joining, man. Like that, super loud. And oh man, forever, that's a long time. Whoa, whoa. And I'm like, okay, that guy is absolutely tripping. He's peeking at the wedding ceremony. And somebody went over and was like, Dustin, man, be more chill. But it just went on for like the whole time. But they pronounce them man and wife, and we head up to the house, and all the ladies are like, well, let's get the meal out. And I'm like, ask that guy, and that guy, and that guy. But I am sitting down, and I am eating now. I got a lot of flack for that. For not like also being the waitress. A lot of dirty looks from Sky and Petal. But we eat, we have a good time, and then after dinner they start this fire pit ritual kind of thing, and the guy from before, the tripping guy, is like, I'm jumping over the fire. I'm gonna jump over that fire. And we're like, Dustin, man, may not be such a good idea, but he wouldn't listen, and he tripped, and he fell in the fire. Yep, like standing in the hot coals, and like, I can't believe I'm laughing, but it's like, okay, now we have a medical emergency, and we need someone who's completely sober, who can drive in and out of here in the dark in a car and somehow find a hospital on the land. It took a very long time to find that person. And then we found out 2 years later that they didn't even really get married. Because they actually don't believe in it as like a legal thing, and there's nothing wrong with that, but I find it curious. And now they're divorced. Did you ever go back? No, I never went back. I was like, yeah, that's enough for me. Oh, did you ever go back? No, I never went back. Oh, I never went back to the land. Thank you for going with me on that trip. Every once in a while, someone is like, I found that song very offensive. And I'm like, that's because you live on the land.